Well, good afternoon. I had to actually check the clock then to make sure it was the afternoon. I've been pretty slack as of late, doing some potting and, getting stuff out. Realistically, I think that the toll of COVID maybe got to me a little bit, as much as I didn't want to admit it at the time. So I'm not sure how much I have shared with people, but, realistically, compromised immune system. So it means, I pretty much have been working at home for over 12 months, trying to keep in a rhythm, do the homeschool thing. That got over and done with, and then they've gone back to school. I'm trying to work. I have been studying as well. I had to take some time off because of my health again, because I did end up getting a really bad infection. Go me. If it's out there, I'll catch it. I'm your girl. But NLP has been something that literally changed my life. So studying it has just been such an in-depth process and journey, I'd say. It definitely will change the way you look and think about everyday things, how you interact with your children, how you might send that next text message, how you might deal with your ex-partner. Dealing with exes is not the greatest, especially when you've got children. This is common knowledge. But I think, if anything, I have learned or taken away from it a lot more easier ways so I can deal with them, because at the end of the day, if you have a child with someone, you love them enough at some stage to produce that child. So you owe it to that kid to at least have some kind of genuine relationship or interest of politeness or going through the motions for the sake of that child or children. And I found myself over the years, I've been to that point where you're yelling and screaming and you say those spiteful, nasty things that will cut them deep, because we all are capable of it. And then there comes a time where you actually realise that the only people that we're actually hurting are the children, because they don't get to see the other person's family or have the extra time or go to the birthday party. And there are parents out there who sadly to this day, and I hold myself, I never really realised it, but now I do hold myself of a higher standard that, I've been doing this shared parenting gig now for close to 10 years, and I can wholeheartedly say that we've had, my exes and I, we've had our fair share of arguments, but my children have never missed out on anything. They have never out of spite have I withheld my children from their dad, or out of spite stopped them from mixing or missing an event just because it's in my time. I mean, look, time is something that is important to every human being, and if anybody knows it, it's me. We're on borrowed time. We all have a use-by date, and those children, they are not going to want to hang out with us soon. They'll get to an age and they'll be like, I don't really, Mum, my friends are cooler than you, or whatnot. But I can't think of a crueler thing that a parent can ever do than to withhold their child from another parent. That child will love that parent, both parents, endlessly, always. And it should always be based on the basis or the fact that if there is anything that happens or goes on, those children will grow up and make their own decisions. And they will look at the actions or reactions of what their parents have done. So while you might be in that mode where you feel that you're protecting your child, which is really cruel, because at the end of the day, no mother or father would ever intentionally hurt or put their child at risk unless they're really, unwell. And in that case, if they really are unwell, you should have taken the steps or the precautionary factors to protect your child. And the more that you keep your children away from that other parent or make them feel that they should, the brainwashing, the talking rubbish about the other parent, the gossiping in the schoolyard, parents need to really look at their own behaviour. Because one day one of those children are going to grow up and they whether you realise it or not, they're going to be their own person. And they might end up even hating you or despising you so much for how much pain you cause them. And, because I didn't have my biological father around, I probably have a different view on things where, I will never stop my children from being with their dad. If it's a weekend that lands on their weekend and there's a public holiday on that Monday or on the Friday, I'll ring them and go, do you want them? Would you like to have extra time with them? We don't play tit for tat. We don't go, oh, you went to America for 4 weeks with them in this block, so I should have 4 weeks, and I'm going to break it up over A, B, C, D, E, F, G over 12 months. That's not how it works. Our job as parents is to give those children the best of the best that we can. And if that means, God forbid, their dad gets them for an extra 2 days, the whole world's not going to end. Meaningful relationships are needed between children and their fathers and children and their mothers. There is no parent that outweighs or outwrites another parent. And I'm sick of the stigma that is in society where, especially women, and this is one time you'll hear me actually say something that's negative, women tend to feel that they have an upper right. What they need to understand is, psychologically and from a maturity point of view, children require love from both mum or dad or significant other, because there are children who have 2 mums or 2 dads, whatever it may be. They need to have those foundation and those actual relationships to be comfortable and to be socially and emotionally balanced. So if you're a mum out there that has hurt or been through a bad breakup, and you've been taking this tragic road where you think that withholding a child or trying to make them despise the other parent, I'm telling you now, the only person you're hurting is yourself. And you're going to find you'll wake up one day, and I really hope it doesn't happen to you, but your children will have no respect for you, or even worse, they won't want anything to do with you. Our life as parents, no, we're not meant to be their friends. We're meant to guide them and give them the skills so they can go out into the world and be living amazing versions of themselves. Our jobs is to give them the best opportunities to be whatever they want to be. And we all should be working as a team. You don't have to like what that person's done to you. You don't have to rehash how your ex-partner hurt you. Because if you keep living in the past, you will never move forward. And if you keep doing that, the only people you're going to poison are your own children against you. And the reason that I've hit on this topic is I've just seen so many parents going through this recently and heard so much. And it actually hurts me because I am somebody who, over the years of the 10 years when I first became, a single parent per se, it was significant for me to understand why it was important for the kids to have that relationship. And I did it because I guess I grew up without my biological father being there, so I actually understand the impact of being withheld or kept away from somebody who you should have a bond with. And I know what it did to me on a personal level. It took me a really long time. I had a lot of hang-ups and issues about my about abandonment, and about was I loved? Did he love me? If he did love me, why didn't he spend time with me? And I didn't know the whole details of it. So it took a really long time, and it's, taken a long time as an adult to process those things. And I'm just saying, this is only my point of view. I'm not stating that I know all the answers or anything, but, when somebody's been through an experience, it's really quite impacting to hear what they're going to say. I just wanted to jump on and touch base on this, because those little people that we are contributing to are the leaders of tomorrow. So what they see is what they absorb, is what they learn, is what they repeat. And, there'll be so many things from your own childhood or your own past that you don't like. And the whole idea about being a parent is taking responsibility for how those feelings affect you. And if you want to repeat the cycle or if you want to change the cycle. Just remember though, everything that comes out of your mouth, everything that you show them, everything that you play out in front of them is giving them an indication that that behaviour is acceptable in society. And that is the way that an adult conducts themselves. And I can tell you now, God forbid, I don't want either, any of my boys to have to go through a divorce. In a perfect world, I'd love them to be happily married forever after. But I really hope that I have educated them enough and given them enough tools and options to see that, sometimes in life things don't work out. And if they do have children, I hope I've, led by example how to treat the other party. How we had mutual respect for one another because of our children. And you can only hope that other parents look at the big picture, and other parents see what they're doing, because it's really sad to watch from the sideline and see the pain and the hurt that children go through, having this internal tug of war. Mum says dad's this, dad says mum's this, but I love both of them. Why can't I be with them as much? Why do I have to only be with this parent? Give me a valid reason why. Because I said so. Because I said so isn't educating a child. Treating a child like a baby continually is not setting them up for society or building their own individual personalities or their own identity. So I'll wrap this up, and it was just some thoughts that were running through my mind, and I really hope this resonates with somebody, or hopefully. That's the reason why I do this gig, is that I chuck stuff out there just so I can see if other people are on the same page as me, or if they're feeling what I'm feeling or thinking what I'm thinking. And that was all I wanted to touch on. And if you are one of those parents that have been doing that, you've been doing that merry-go-round, come on guys, like this isn't just about you. It's about those little people that you're responsible for, and you have to set guidelines and standards, and you have to have morals and ethics, and you have to be setting the example. Anyway, I will sign out, and I will touch base a little bit more often because I've been a little bit slack. But if you've got anything to add, any notes, comments, please feel free. Until next time, take care of one another, and stay COVID safe.